So let me go. The Our club has six different fundraisers. Uh, so I thought I would just talk briefly on all of them so that you have more than one idea on how you can do fundraising. Our first one that we have at every weekly meeting is what we call Happy Talk. And we get maybe 10 or to $15 a week on that, which adds up to about 500 a year. And we pass, somebody walks around with a bucket, and if you want to say something that was happy that happened to you during the previous week, you have to put at least $1 in to tell everybody about it. We also have what we call a 50-50 raffle, which is really a third, a third, a third raffle. We sell tickets for $1 each, or you can get for $10 you can get 25 tickets. But anyway, the a third of the money from the raffle again goes into fundraising. Then the third goes into what we call the big pot that you can win, and then the third goes to whoever actually won that week. And when you win that week, you also have a chance. We have a deck of cards. You have a chance to pick a card from the deck, and if you get the Joker, then you have the money that has accumulated in what we call the big pot. We also have Flags for Heroes, which a number of clubs have, where we put the flags out and people can sponsor a hero for $100, and that gets you a little medallion that goes on the flags and is good for Memorial Day, July 4th, Veterans Day, and even Labor Day. We also sell gift cards, and that's kind of profitable. We get a percentage from the gift card companies for selling the cards, and we raise about $2,000 a year on that. Recently, we started what's called the Jingle Bells Run, which is a 5K run, and that's typically in the second week of December. It's a Saturday, and we with sponsorships and money from the participants, we raise about $7,000 a year. Then our major fundraiser is the McLean Chocolate Festival, and after we net everything out, uh, we raise just under $27,000 typically, and we have between 2,000 and 2,500 people participate, and that's all hands on deck project because we need everybody for the different things that we do. We need all those. We need all of those volunteers. All right, so getting started. How do you do a fundraiser? Well, first thing you have to do is find what I call a hook event that your club and the community will embrace. And for us, it's really been they've embraced Flags for Heroes, they've embraced the 5K run, Jingle Bells Run, and they've really embraced the Chocolate Festival. I think we've had 10 or 11 festivals so far. We were lucky; we had a location, which is the McLean Community Center. And then we had to find what I call a non-conflict date. And for us, that is typically the last Sunday in January. So that's where we have it every year. We got a little bit off that date during COVID, but we're back on it. Now, what's interesting is that the week after that, which is the first weekend in February, Fairfax City has a chocolate festival, which is much, much bigger than ours. If you go to the website that they have, you can see they have many, many more events. Um, but a lot of our chocolate vendors that come and participate in our festival also participate in the Fairfax City Festival. So if you were thinking of doing something similar and want to find out where you can get vendors, that is a good place to look. They've got a web page that gives you information on all those different vendors. Of course, you have to get your club to buy into that particular project. So you got to beat the drum. We start beating the drum for our festival really starting in September. Um, We had to find hours that were convenient to community families because the chocolate festival is definitely a family event. And so our hours are 11 until 5 on the last Sunday in January. You have to put a committee together, and I'll show you that on the next slide. And then you have to determine what your volunteer staffing needs are. We also try to recruit um, the local high school students and any other volunteers and spouses that would like to help. Um, because just with our club members alone that are available and that, um, let's say, they're ambulatory and healthy enough, we need more help than just our club members. So, can you get outside volunteer help? Hopefully, you can because we need it for our chocolate festival. And then I would strongly recommend that you approach a major corporate donor who is located within the area that your club serves and have them be a major sponsor. We have Mars, the candy company. They're headquartered literally right across the street in McLean, and they've been our major donor for the last 7 or 8 years. They don't donate $5,000 plus boxes of their little bite-sized candies that we hand out, and they've been a great sponsor. They've been great to work with. Feel free to ask questions if you have any as I go along, because you can interrupt me. I'm so familiar with this thing. I'm the chairperson for the Chocolate Festival fundraiser, so I'm familiar with just about every detail. So the different committees that we have, you have to have someone that coordinates with the event location. For us, it's the McLean Community Center. And that's actually gotten to be easier over the years because we've developed a really good relationship with the staff over there, and they're very helpful. Vendors, we started approaching the vendors. I sent out invitations last week, and we're starting to get responses. Um, we go to our um, previous vendors first and see who can participate. And we send out forms to them. We send out an application form that each table, we give each vendor a table for $100. So they send that money in with their application form. We also provide rules and regulations. And last year, we opened it up to also allowing them to do direct sales via credit card and cash in all the chocolate festivals prior to last year. We did not allow them to handle cash transactions. We sold what we call taste tickets and gave each one a box, and they collected the taste tickets in the box, and then we counted the taste tickets afterwards. Um, and when we did taste tickets only, we took 25. The club retained 25% of the ticket sales, and the vendors got 75%. Now, with allowing them to use cash and credit, we've actually lowered that. Our split, we're now at 20%, and they get 80% because with the credit card sales, um, as previously we absorbed the 3%. Now they have to absorb the 3% that the credit card companies charge. But it's actually a little bit better for them now because we still do the taste ticket sales, which is probably about half of the revenue. And why do we continue the taste tickets? We thought about doing away with the taste tickets, but then a lot of the vendors told us, it was really good feedback, that because if we needed to keep the taste tickets because it makes it more of a family event. Because a lot of parents like to come and buy $10 or $20 worth of taste tickets, and then give those to the kids and let the kids go into the vendor rooms and just buy whatever they want with the taste tickets, and it's a lot more fun for the kids. So we've kept that, and actually the vendors get a better deal on the taste tickets then, because instead of us taking 25% of that revenue, we only take 20%. So it's a win-win. Though we did have a couple of vendors that when we have to have a reconciliation, obviously, after the event is over, and we tell them what the ticket count is, and they have to give us their credit card sale report for that day that tells us what their credit card sales were, and they have to be, it's an area of trust where they tell us what their cash sales were. But we did have a couple of vendors that were not cooperative, and they won't be invited back. But we get lots of new people each year that want to participate, so that's not an issue. Typically, we only have about 10 to 12 vendors. We set up 20 tables. Some of the vendors want 2 tables, and we have one vendor who's really figured it out. He wants 3 tables, and he does the most sales, and he's actually the cleverest vendor, because he packages his product up in $1 or $2 packages, and the kids just love it. They just buy it like crazy. We also get sponsorships from the local companies and other people that would like to sponsor. We used to put up little signs, little banner signs, and hang them through throughout the community center building. But a lot of the sponsors wanted to have it be in a program that we could hand out to people, and the people could take those programs home and see who the sponsors were and hopefully do business. So we've changed over last year to go in completely with a program. And one of the neat things with the sponsorships is we also created a web page on our club web page for the Chocolate Festival through DACDB. And one of the features DACDB has is that when we list the sponsors on the Chocolate Festival webpage that they've created, if you hold your if you hold your pointer right on the sponsor name, it'll take you to that sponsor's webpage. And so that's helped us actually sell a number of sponsorships, because the sponsors really like that, because then they get publicity not only in the program but also on the web page. So that's helped us really do well on the program. We saw, for the first time in previous programs, which were much simpler, we had $150 and $200 sponsorships. But with the new program, we have full page ads available, and for $1,000, and we've only got a couple of those in the program book. But I was amazed; those things sold out first. So maybe we need to maybe we need to think the program and get some more $1,000 pages in there. Now, how do we promote the festival? Well, we used to, and this is an important one. We have one person that's in charge of the yard signs, and we order these yard signs through a company in Texas. It's called Cheap Signs, and it costs us about $600 or something like that, and we get 200 yard signs with these little, what they call H brackets that allow you to plop the signs into the yard. And you have to be a little strategic with your yard signs, because that is the best way to publicize the event. We tried print advertising. We bought space in some of the local newspapers, what have you, but people just don't see it. It's the yard signs. We did a survey, and basically 95% of the people that attend, when asked how they knew about the chocolate festival, it was the yard signs. So we put the yard signs out typically on a Thursday afternoon, and we do it in two waves, I would say. So the week before the chocolate festival, this year we're only going to put out about 50 signs at strategic intersections in front of major commercial establishments, because you put them out on a Thursday, and then the county comes by usually on Tuesday and removes the signs. So the first wave is sacrificial, and then the second wave that we put out the weekend of the event, and again on Thursday afternoon, we put out the remaining 150 signs, and that pretty much nails it for us. We get very good attendance based on the yard signs. Now we also have signage within the community center, because we have multiple rooms. We have an entertainment room where we have been lucky enough to get some of the local musicians to provide music for us during the festival. We give each of the musicians 10 tickets, and they basically perform for free. Uh, we've had very good entertainers, and some of the music is just really good. We also have Mars has a unit that basically tells you the history of chocolate, and they come and they set up a location in one of the rooms, and they give demonstrations and presentations on how chocolate has evolved over time, and they're very good people to work with. Publicity, as I said, we do put out a press release and follow up to the local newspapers, and that seems to do much better than trying to buy an actual ad in the paper, because when you do publicity, do a press release, and also they really want photos. So be sure that you take photographs of whatever your fundraiser is and include that with your press release, and that gives them the content that they need for their local newspaper. As I mentioned, we have entertainment. We have one person that coordinates the entertainment for us. Supplies, it's just tablecloths. We have one of our sponsors, who's also a member, provides us with tote bags, so we get free tote bags that we hand out, which is very good. And then we have to have another committee member that's the volunteer coordinator. And for those of you who are familiar with Michael Arietti, he handles that role, and he's terrific at it. We also have people within the club. We charge a $3 admission fee, and we take that in either cash or credit card. We have a table, entrance table, where they come in and they do. People can charge for the entrance fee, and also can buy taste tickets. And we have maybe 5 or 6 people that have the square thing on their iPhone, and can just directly take the charge, and that goes directly to our account. We have a technology point person that helps us a little bit with social media, but be quite honest with you, yard signs are the best. Okay, so let me move that. So pre-event actions, what do you need to do? Well, you need to draft a budget, and try to figure out what all your expenses are going to be. We've got we've got the yard signs, we've got the taste tickets we have to buy, we've got the whatever print advertising we might do, which is not much. Um, we 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 have the cost of the facility, which runs about $2,200. But you identify all those major expenses, put them in the budget, then figure out what your revenue sources are going to be. Now, for us, go ahead. Somebody have a question? Okay. For us, the biggest revenue source is the program ads, the sponsorships. Um, we probably raise about $15,000 just from the sponsorships. That's our biggest one. That and the $5,000 from Mars, and then out of the taste out of the chocolate sales, our 20% is right around $6,000. Um, you have to, and those are our major sources of revenue: admissions, taste ticket sales, chocolate sales, and sponsorships. That's the money. You have to establish a timeline. Now, for us, we've been able to shorten the timeline because we're on our 11th and 12th one. But when we first started, we probably started work on the chocolate festival 6 months ahead of time because there's a learning curve the first one or two times that you do it. Registering the vendors, that goes with the applications that we send out. Figure out what your location is going to be. Make sure you have it tied up for that date well in advance. And we tell the McLean Community Center, about 12 months in advance, the date that we want, and we get them to bookmark it for us. And then we recently gave them the rental fee already, so we pay. That's probably a major expense that you need to budget up front. That and the yard signs. Those things you need to have a little kitty for that. Okay, contact the media. We solicit our entertainers, recruit our volunteers. We consult with our printer, and that's the lady Joan Lear from Percival. She's also a Rotarian, and she has Percival Printing and McLean Printing, and she's terrific to work with. And she'll give you many good ideas on how you can make money on a program. She's a whiz, and I strongly recommend that you talk to her. We have to order our yard sales, our yard signs and taste tickets, usually in early December, and there was a long lead time, as you might expect, when we were coming out of COVID. But now they're pretty good. Now we can put the order in and get everything in about 2 to 3 weeks. Again, have someone who is going to take responsibility for the yard signs and have them identify the good locations. It's going to be obviously your major intersections and in front of your grocery stores, your drugstores, uh, restaurants. Those are all good things to do. And then we inventory our supplies, and we get our supplies literally at the last minute, but it works. Okay. All right. So, okay, revenue sources, as I mentioned. Sponsorships, it was more, we had 16,600. Okay. Admission fees, 6,800. Vendor sales, our cut was 6,700. Table fees, that's the $100 that each vendor pays. It's $100 a table, so 19 tables, 1,900. And donations, we have people that just want to donate, and we raised almost $1,700 with donations. Okay, enhancing the revenue leader potential. Again, create an event web page, and DACDB is really great to work with. They have a lot of good ideas, and I think they were only like, I don't know, it wasn't even $200. I think it was not a major cost item. Create a little flyer, and Joan can help you with that. List the event sponsors on the web page. You just tell the DACDB guys who you want to put in, and they'll put them in for you, and they'll set it up so that when people hover over the sponsor's name, they'll have a direct link to that sponsor's web page, and you can actually show prospective sponsors how that works when you're trying to sell ads in the program. It's a single click connection, which is good. And as I said, it impresses the sponsor candidate, shows them how we can make a link directly to their webpage. Everybody gets a sponsor program. So we found out that we ordered 2,500 programs for the last year's event, and we really could get by with 2,200. So we'll probably cut back to 2,200. But you should have excess programs so that you can use them as examples for future events, which we do. Okay, boom. Post-event activities, counting the taste tickets. The lady that actually started the Chocolate Festival program for us, Jan Auerbach, she, God bless her, does not mind counting the taste tickets. That's like 16,000 tickets, but she knocks those out. She has a bag for each vendor, tells us what it is for each vendor. We then have another handout that we give to the vendors, that is a revenue report where they tell us what they did in cash sales, what they did in credit card sales, and then we tell them what they did in taste ticket sales, because we have the count and the money, and then we do a reconciliation. Remove your yard signs after the event as soon as you can. It makes everybody happy, including the county. But whatever you forget, the county's going to get them anyway. Then we make sure that we send a thank you note to our donors, and for the sponsors, that money goes to our club foundation. So we actually send them a acknowledgement letter for their donation on our foundation letterhead, and that's a tax deductible item for them, which they really like. And then we issue a check to the club foundation. So best practices Rotary tools. Joan Lear from Percival. She's our printer. DACDB, there you go, $219 to create our webpage. They're great. Use QR codes. We use them maps. We put them in the signage. We put them in the programs, and it gives all the information that you want to have about your club. We use Square for credit card sales processing. We use Interact, the local high school students. They actually have a room that's a kids' activity room, and they do face painting and coloring, and it's a mob scene. The kids love it. And again, take photos of your event. You have to be careful taking photos of the kids and using them. So it's better if you just sort of not have faces in the photos, except for your Rotarians. Okay. Now, I mentioned that we have a club foundation. It's the Rotary Club of McLean Foundation. And it was founded in 1970, and it's a charitable and educational entity that's separate from the club, separate from Rotary International Foundation. We received 501c3 status in October of 1974. The initial endowment balance was $2,210. And initial grant awards were anywhere from 200 to under $1,000. We awarded grants that were funded from the interest and dividends earned from the endowment corpus. So over the years, with our fundraisers and with donations, we've grown the endowment to $1 million. Also invested, we have someone that we use, a financial planner, or who oversees the investment of our foundation endowment, and it's a diversified portfolio that provides dividends and interest, and so that now the fundraising that we do goes directly for grants, plus the interest and dividends that we earned from the endowment, and with that we can do annual awards that collectively total $40,000 to $60,000. So it's we achieved the $1 million number in 2021. So it took us, we started in 1970. So it took us 51 years to get there, but we made it. Okay. So what are some of the recent grant awards? Some of the things that we funded recently, we deal with a local nonprofit that took in homeless families. They take in basically it's moms with kids that are from broken families. A lot of them are recent immigrants to the country, and we provide them with, we help, and this is an outfit called Home Stretch. We help them provide bedding and support. They take these families in and they basically give them free housing for a year, as well as teach the moms work skills, so that at the end of the 12-month period, provided that they're strong enough to go out on their own, help them find jobs and get them off on their own 2 feet. We also provide daycare supplies for 75 homeless family children. This is good. This is a preschool program that's run by Home Stretch. I believe it's called Kid Stretch. And it helps get them prepared for going to school and getting a real education. We helped recently with the influx of Afghan refugees. We made a contribution, made a grant to an outfit that helps them to read and write the English language. We have another program where we work with a local Fairfax County school, and we have 330 kids that we read to, that are from kindergarten through the 2nd grade, from lower income families, and it's the Joy of Reading program. And we purchase books, 3 books for each kid, and we hand them out. Actually, the math is not right there, is it? Should be 990 books. But anyway, we hand out books to the kids. After we read to them, we go in there and read to them. And these kids are really bright. I mean, we're reading from kindergarten through 2nd grade. We're reading to them from books that I never would have imagined when I was that age. And these kids are pretty smart. They understand what we're telling them. We also fund $10,000 worth of scholarships to local graduating high school seniors from the McLean schools for their post-secondary education. And some of these scholarships are continuations of as they advance through the schools that they attend. The money is sent directly to the school, and then they use it to help offset the expenses for these these students as they as they progress towards their education. We also contribute to a local food pantry called Share, helps alleviate food insecurity, and it helps approximately 1,500 low-income families, most with children. We also have been sponsoring what we call a challenger team in the McLean Little League program. And this is a program for boys and girls, approximately a team of 15 that have either disabilities or special needs, and it allows them to participate in the excitement and joy of a team sport. It's basically a T-ball setup. And for some of these kids, that's some of the only opportunities that they have to participate in a team sport. And it's a lot of fun, and that's what we do. And here's some photos from past chocolate festivals, and mostly it's from our vendors. Okay. And this was fun. Okay, this was a lesson learned on yard signs. That's a picture of me going back to the Fairfax County dump and jumping in one of the dumpsters where they had collected. We had put too many signs out the first week, and they had never enforced the yard sign ordinance before. So it had not been a problem. But last year they enforced it. And before we knew it, all our signs were gone. So we had to go back and retrieve our signs and reinstall them. And this is a photo of, this actually is a photo of Lynn Heinrichs, one of our club members. She's a big contributor. And she also is not afraid to dress up like a Hershey Kiss. We also have some M&Ms since Mars is one of our sponsors. But Lynn also donates the tote bags. And then this is just a photo of some of the entertainment we have. We had a group. It was a bunch of senior citizens. It's a band, but they play all the rock and roll songs, and you would swear to God that they're the actual entertainers that made those songs popular. Okay. So that's my presentation. Any questions? Anybody still there?
Yeah. Yeah, just so as far as keeping track of the income and the expenses for your fundraising, is that just incorporated into the club statement, or does somebody do a separate statement for the fundraising?
That's done actually by Michael Arietti. He is our club treasurer, and you'd have to ask him exactly how he does it, because he does use DAC to
He
track.
does, okay.
Yeah, but then I also keep a separate budget that's just basically an Excel spreadsheet, because
Oh,
it
okay,
lets me compare with previous years, and I can see
right.
whether we're on or we're off.
Okay.
So we do it two ways, but at the end, it all works out.
Right. Yeah. We're just getting our starting to use the financial model. I'm with the Vienna Club,
Yeah,
and so
you
we're
got
just getting on to the DAC-DB financial model.
yeah. We'll get a hold of Michael if you have any questions. He's pretty good at it. Um,
Okay.
but you guys raise a lot more money than we do.
Yeah, our big one, we do a separate, and I'm going to be the treasurer just for Viva.
Yeah,
And then we have another treasurer who's the club treasurer, Sheila Brennan.
right, right, good. Well, you guys have it down. How long have you been doing Viva?
Well, I've only been in the club a year.
Well, how long has Vienna been
So
doing?
what's that?
How long has Vienna been doing Viva?
We celebrated the 40th this past Memorial Day.
That's remarkable. That is remarkable.
Yeah. But it's been done, using keeping track of it's been done using Quicken and Excel. And we're trying to now move towards the DAC-DB financial model for everything.
Well, the ACTB has its challenges, so I'm not going to tell you that it's easy or that it's hard. I would just say, if you have any questions, talk to Michael Arrietti.
Okay, thank you.
Anything else?
Thank you for sharing. I mean, we're an all virtual club, so we can't do a physical fundraiser, and not really, because I'm in the Rotary E Club of Global Peace Builders. So we do our peace conference where we'll raise some money there. But what caught my eye from one of the things you said was those gift cards. Thinking, okay, it might be something online we can do, right? Because we have members that live everywhere, and it's hard to do a physical fundraiser in one place. So I appreciate that because that might be helpful.
Good, good, great. Our man on that is Vance Zavella.
Oh yeah. Okay, I know Vance. I will ping him and see what he has to tell me.
He is the master of that.
Okay, good to know.
Okay, good. All right. Well, if nothing else, we get to go home early. Sorry for the confusion in the beginning. I must not have done something right.
No,
No problem. Thank you so much for sharing all this information.
yep, appreciate your time.
Right now.
Thank you.
See you.
Bye.